He's actually come up State Highway 1 just to hang out with us this morning from the mighty Waikato. He's a church leader. He wears a lot of hats, and he's also studying for his Masters of the Universe. Can I say Masters of the Universe this morning? Is that what you're studying this morning? What's your Masters?
That's amazing. That's actually what I'm talking about on Sunday. So
the Masters
you've nailed it.
There you go. You might recognize the voice. I'm talking about Aaron Hardy from Te Rautini Church out of the Waikato. Thanks for taking time to drop in this morning, bro.
Yeah, awesome. Privilege to be here. Although I did think twice, because in the conversation about, you were asking me, what should we talk about? All of those types of things. I did ask if we could talk about the Warriors. And I want to suggest that we add a segment, Friday Confessions for Sela, because your response was what? What was your response?
What was it? What did I say? I can't even remember.
You suggested that instead we talk about the Australian Broncos because Sela reckons that half of the team are his cousins.
You know what? Rach has thrown me on the bus twice this morning. You've just popped into the studio. First thing out of your mouth, you want to throw me under the trailer as well.
100%.
Okay, let's get to that in a little bit because I know that you are a fan of the Wars. We'll get to that. And that's nice that you can balance and get some balance into your life because you're a busy guy. You're a busy man. You're leading your church at the moment. Straight off the bat, what do you find most fulfilling about supporting your congregation and then in turn, the people around your congregation, that's your community?
Yeah, I think the beauty of participating in church, and one of the things that Eugene Peterson talks about is he said, the church is made up of a bunch of sinners, and in that church, one of the roles of one of those sinners is to lead the church. And so I take heaps of freedom in the sense that my role within that is not to become something bigger or better than anyone else, but to participate in the active work of Jesus amongst us, within us, all that's good, all that's bad. And I don't believe that any meaningful change happens without community. And so, yeah, it's the privilege of my life.
What does community look like to you then?
It looks like, I suppose there's different levels of it, isn't there? There's the people that you're seeing here and there. There's the people that you might be only seeing on Sunday, but then there's the people that know you. And I think our real deep desire is to be known and to know people. So we want people to know us enough where they've got permission to call us out on things, to speak life, to confront us when we're not at our best, to ask us, hey, what's going on? I notice this happened or that happened, all of those things. And I have the deep sense that there's another generation that have a real significant longing to be known in that way, not just in a superficial social media kind of way where everything seems lovely.
Yeah, that's a cool way to sort of think about leading the church. And you don't only lead the church, but you're also a musician. I'm curious how that process of sort of creating a song starts. I mean, I think we've all probably tried once to write a song and found it's quite hard. I definitely did as a kid and realised that is not my calling.
Dude, I ain't even going to go down that road, man.
That could be another segment that we could add, the songs we tried to write.
That's good. Actually, I like that. All right.
Yeah. I think for me, the conversation has always been, okay, what do I sense that God might be trying to speak to our community? I never write songs thinking about, I wonder how people might like this, or I wonder if people would listen to this. I just always go, okay, what's happening amongst us? Or it's things I've been reading or things that I've been inspired about. I present the song to a group of people, and then together we finish it. So our thinking is, as soon as you've got that song and you present it, that song, and that sense is no longer yours, it belongs to the whole, so that we're able to make it better than what it is.
I like what you're doing there, because then you can't just blame yourself. See what he did there, Rachel? Yeah. I'm going to write most of this and then hand it over to you. Why did you write that lyric in there? Hey, there's something that you mentioned early about you accept people challenging you. I hope that doesn't happen often, bro. But do you think in today's climate, that it's happening around the place, not just in your church, but people are going, okay, while you're saying this, I want to challenge you on in that space. Do you think it's a healthy thing to do?
I think it happens more unusually today. So it will happen behind backs or via emails or via social media, but very little of it happens face to face, which is a shame, right? Because I think when it doesn't happen face to face, there's kind of like the temptation to be a whole lot more brutal about what you're saying because you can dehumanize someone by going, oh, I can't see you, I can't see your reactions, therefore I'm just going to talk about the problem. But I'm fortunate as in my community, I feel really encouraged, looked after. I have the right people coming to me when I'm being less than my best and going, hey bro, let's talk about this, which keeps me safe as well. So yeah.
Talking about keeping you safe, it's very important in today's climate as well that we get the balance right with your workload and your mental well-being. I think you're very aware of that. You're self-aware. But how do you address as a church leader? Because that's a massive responsibility. You're like the Peter Parker Spider-Man and Waikato Man. How do you address those issues of maybe burnout and self-care while dealing with the emotional demands of your gig? How impressive is that question?
This is why you're here, isn't it? This is why you wake up at 3 a.m. every day to prepare questions like that.
2:30, Aaron. So how do you balance that all out?
It's a great question. And to be honest, it's probably the question that not just pastors, but people are asking in general, in droves, is how do we keep doing this in a way that's sustainable? How do we be emotionally healthy? How do we walk in a way that allows us to be a non-anxious presence in the world, in a world that is riddled with anxiety? And that's in the church too. That's not just an external problem. And so we take seriously things like Sabbath, making sure that we have a 24-hour period where we're shutting down from the world, where we're negating our need to achieve something by diving into rest and worship and delight and the things that fill our soul with joy. We take seriously the rhythms of our life and how many nights we are a week, or are we prioritizing enough family time? How are we going in our marriages? All of those types of things. So, look, I'm not immune to it. I've experienced burnout myself, and probably a really helpful point to come to go, okay, I'm not Superman or Spider-Man, as was referred to before, and my life has got significant limitations. And sometimes you're not really aware of them until you face them. And then all of a sudden, and whether you're a church leader or not, I was a church leader experiencing real significant depression and going, man, this shouldn't be my reality. I should have this sorted out. But there I was at the very limits of my life, and actually I'm grateful for those moments of actually going, I'm on my knees now. Life has to become different for me to do this if I want to be a healthy presence in the world. I can't just take the world's corporate idea of success and put that into church life, because it's just so different. It violates the way of Jesus over and over again. And so it's just been massive learning.
Thanks for sharing that. I think that's something I can definitely relate to, and probably a lot of people, knowing that we have limitations and that burnout is a real thing. Talking about your music, I love that obviously you have a lot of Te Reo Māori songs and bring a bit of Te Ao Māori into the church. How has that been quite influential, and being able to sing that as a congregation together?
Yeah, it's been like the massive part of our journey is going, the core of our heart is that we believe that the task of our church is to go, we are not starting a new thing. We want to dive into what God has already been doing in Aotearoa throughout time. And large portions of the church have just kind of gone, ta-da, here we are, we're going to be the work of God, and have missed out this incredible heart of Jesus for Aotearoa in the land through Māori, and then to everyone else that might enter into the story. And so our desire is to actually see and participate in what God has been doing right from the very beginning in this land, and that's been part of that. And so singing songs in Te Reo is kind of like the end result of a whole bunch of other journeys of engaging with history, engaging with story, engaging with tikanga and all these other things, because we believe that the result is actually flourishing for all people.
Told you he was busy, eh?
He's got a lot of hats. He's got wearing.
And one of the real reasons why we got you in here, because you're on TV tonight. If you watch Shine TV, if you're a fan of Shine TV, there's a program on there called Soul Sessions. Aaron, you're a part of that gig tonight.
I am.
You singing tonight on there?
Yeah, I'm singing.
Oh, thank you for bringing in your guitar so you could give us a brief demo. Appreciate that. So what time are you on tonight?
7.
7 from 7 p.m. tonight on Shine TV. You can catch Aaron performing on Soul Sessions with Sarah Jane Erlika. I was actually privileged to be a part of that chat. And,
Really?
yeah, it was.
Were you
it was,
singing as well?
Listen, Rach, I don't want to. If you want to find out, you need to watch
Need to tune
tonight.
in.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think we had more fun off camera. They should have captured those conversations we had off camera. Than on camera.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, go on. Here's your opportunity now. We've got all the business stuff out of the way. You can go up the wops. What do you want to talk about?
Up the wires.
Oh, up the wires. Okay, what?
The disrespect.
What?
Even just you got to get it right. Okay.
I can say when we first caught up, Aaron's a massive fan of the Warriors, and he let me know in no uncertain terms. You are, right?
This is true. We talked about two things. One was that LeBron James was better than Michael
out
Jordan,
of
which
that.
you agreed with. And then,
No.
and then
Yeah.
the Warriors. Now, how good are they? Number three, looking like they're going to go all the way. My brother and my cousin, they've bought grand final tickets in
Hey.
anticipation of the glory that awaits.
You can tell them they can get a refund, eh? You can tell them. Brother, it's always a pleasure talking to you. You're, as Rachel said, you're wearing a lot of hats. So we appreciate you taking time out to jump into the studio. We've only caught up a couple of times, but I feel like I know you well, and you've got a blessed spirit, bro. So take care and go and conquer the world, okay?
Yeah, thanks, guys. My privilege.
Aaron Hardy, Te Rautini Church from the Waikato.